Oh my God.
Oof. Honestly, still struggle with this to this day.
What is your focus? Your personal brand or your company's brand?
Anyone who is going through a rebrand, I would think about how you would deliver that message. How will you rebuild that authority with the algorithm? And also, I would be crystal clear on the content that you're going to take. I would be crystal clear on the audience that you're serving. And you will probably lose a portion of your audience that you have built because they expected something else.
You are a stereotype breaker.
Balance is a myth for sure in the work life. I'm so bad at time management. It was a campaign on oh my god, hot tubs, floating hot tubs in Thames in London. It was really weird.
Enormous layoffs in tech sphere. Don't be afraid. Today you have a guide how to start your online business in tech. So don't hesitate. Start watching this video. Today we have a guest and entrepreneur, Masha Zvereva. Hi, my name is Daria and welcome to Introwise. Masha, hi, I'm really happy to have you here.
Hi, Daria. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and there is a lot of information written about you. You're an influencer, a creator, an artist, an entrepreneur. So I could even tell more, but who do you associate yourself mostly with in 1-2 words?
Out of the words that you said, I think creator associates the most because I feel like it encompasses all of the different hats that I wear, and it kind of summarizes what I do, right? I create content, I create material, like workshop and training materials, I create ideas, I create a business. So for me, creator is the word that I like to associate myself the most with.
It's amazing, really. But yeah, I would like a little bit dig about into your story. So you started as a creator of Coding Blonde blog in July 2015, and it was transformed into a big purpose-driven and community-oriented project for women in tech, Stereotype Breakers. So tell me more, how did you just come up with such a global idea to empower women in tech?
I wanted to showcase how women can break stereotypes and give them the tools to break stereotypes within the tech industry, within their careers, etc. And so it happened bit by bit. I honestly was sitting down and redefining my mission this morning once again.
Oh, even like that?
Yes, I was redefining it because I reached a point where I need more clarity myself. So this morning I was doing it once again. The last time I did it was, I think, in the fall of 2021. So it's constantly evolving as I am evolving as well.
So what did you write today? It's really interesting seeing maybe I could get something unique for our content from a creator.
Absolutely. I'm reading this off of the notes, a note that says new mission to drive female impact and innovation in tech by helping women to navigate the corporate world and advocate for themselves, giving them the tools to transform the work culture to meet their needs and life choices. So that's the new mission. That's
Wow.
like the like, because words mean so much to me, and I really like to hone down on the language that inspires me, that drives me, that gives me clarity on what I'm doing every single day.
Yes,
So
now you're an influencer, and I was just searching some information about you, and there are a lot of articles with you. A lot of people just inspired by you, but who inspires you?
whew, goosebumps. Honestly, the person that inspired me the most is my dad.
Yes, you told it in one of the interviews. But
Yes.
what about, just the people from your sphere? Maybe, maybe you have someone who just you love to watch, you love to just take some things from these people.
Absolutely. I think that changes again because, and I have different inspirations for different aspects of my life. So when it comes to content creation and creativity, Marie Forleo comes to mind straight away. She is a goddess. She's been my distant mentor from afar for so long. Um, she is phenomenal. And when it comes to creation, content creation, and even business, because she has a business course, she's been my mentor from that standpoint. When it comes to right now, one of the things that I'm doing is, um, I'm researching women's equality and equity in the workplace, and in particular working mothers. Right now, my inspiration in that field is Reshma Sujani, who is the founder of Girls Who Code, and she is an amazing woman. She's written 2 books that I absolutely adore, and I had a chance to talk to her 2 weeks ago, which was just mind-blowing to me. So I have different role models, different inspirations, and as, like I said, I grow and develop, I find new role models for myself.
Did you talk with her online, or you just saw her face to face?
Online, yes, online. I was doing some research for, I hope, a book that I eventually will write on how women can prepare their careers for motherhood. And so I was asking her some questions because one of her books is on the topic. So yes, got to speak to her online.
Yeah, I know that you registered on Introwise, so I hope that you talked with her on Introwise. And today, if we are talking about you as influencer, you do amazing videos on Instagram. Really, I love them to watch. Masha, could you tell me, please, what is your distinctive feature as an influencer?
My I feel like I don't necessarily have a distinctive feature, but the thing that I've always tried to do is involve the audience in content creation. So community, my community helps me create content because I listen to their problems, I listen to their challenges, and a lot of the times you will see me asking in my stories, what are the challenges that you're going through right now, etc. And then I help work through them. So I think it's because it's a two-way street. It's not just I'm creating content and you watch it. It's more of the community feels their participation in the content. It's an interesting angle on content creation in this field, I think.
The transformation of your company was going through some difficulties, from cotton blonde to stereotype breakers. It's not an easy thing, just rebranding your company. So how did you manage to do it?
The rebrand was pretty tough, I'm not going to lie, because I already had established algorithm reputation. I don't know what it's called, whatever, but the algorithm knew Coding Blonde, and so establishing a new name was hard. And the fact that not all of the audience saw that I was rebranding, because only a portion of your audience gets the notification, etc. It sees the content about the rebrand. A lot of people were shocked to find out that the name has changed, that I'm changing my niche essentially, right? I'm going from a lot of coding content towards more career and personal development oriented content. So I went through a rough time, and I think I'm still recovering from that. I'm not going to lie. But also it came down to I was just going through some stuff myself, a lot of thoughts on where I'm taking the company, etc. So I wasn't as focused as I could have been, and not as clear on my mission, on my content pillars, etc. And so that I would say that resulted in some difficulties for me for the rebrand. So for anyone who is going through a rebrand, I would think about how you would deliver that message. How will you rebuild that authority with the algorithm? And also, I would be crystal clear on the content that you're going to take. I would be crystal clear on the audience that you're serving. And you will probably lose a portion of your audience that you have built because they expected something else. And now you're giving them a new thing, new type of content. But just going into this process with that in mind. Obviously, if you have to rebrand. If you don't have to, that's great. But it will be a difficult process, but stay with it, stay true to what you want to do.
But what do you think, what missteps could be on this way when you just do rebranding? But because you mentioned that you could get rid of some audience, but you could get more new audience, a lot of more new audience.
Exactly. And the new audience that is very engaged around the topic that you are posting about, right? The topic that drives you, that motivates you, that inspires you. And that's what matters at the end of the day when creating content and being consistent and staying authentic. So the missteps, I would say, is not being clear on who that audience is, not being clear on what problems they have, not being clear on what value you can give them, what value you can provide them with. So I've made some of those mistakes with my rebrand, and I don't want anyone watching this to repeat my mistakes. So just be very clear going into it. Make sure that you are not disoriented in your head or in your content strategy. Define those content pillars. Do your research on what problems your audience is facing before you do the rebrand so that you're ready with a new content, so that your content is powerful and solves problems.
Yeah, be ready in advance. It's really a good thing, and I really appreciate that you share this with us, with Introwise. And in one of the interviews, you said that giving control to the project to someone, it's a big deal for you, but still you're a content creator, an artist, an influencer, and an entrepreneur. It's impossible to be a supervisor of all just projects. How did you find your authentic model of leadership?
Oof. Honestly, still struggle with this to this day. Not going to lie. However, I started being much more selective with the projects that I take on, and also the places where I don't need, there are certain areas of my business that I don't need to be controlling. So I started letting go of that control, as hard as it is.
And what would be, just three key things that you usually do when you just, make connections with your news audience, maybe with new people, or how to just detain them with you? So could you share it with us, please?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't necessarily watch every single follower that comes in. Maybe I should, or maybe I should ask my team to help me with that, right? But I try to think proactively about the user experience of the person that lands on my account, and what are the problems that they are facing at the moment, and how can I position the content that would solve their problems straight away. So all of my link in bio is optimized for that. I have guides on my different accounts. I think through that, when they land on my profile, how will they, binge through some of my pre-existing content. And I honestly could get better at highlighting some of it, for example, in Instagram highlights, or in some of the, I know there's some automations for direct messages on Instagram. So that's something that I'm thinking of implementing in the future as well. But for anyone who's trying to do that, I don't really have a 3-step process, but just really think about the user experience. They land on your profile, they land on your social media. What mindset are they in? What problems do they have on their minds? And how do you position the content, the value that you've already provided? How do you position it so that they can find it very easily, watch it, and become, brand loyal to your brand, essentially?
Yeah, perfect. And social media is an enormous way of influence for everyone nowadays, yeah. And how to shape social media the best way for yourself? Do you have any strategic steps that you usually think about? For example, you just think more about Instagram and your website, for example, or you just now concentrated on your YouTube?
So I think of social media in the following way. I think of I divide them into the categories of this is the social media that I create original content for on a regular basis. And then this is social media that shares my content. So, for example, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, those are my main channels that I create for on a regular basis. And then Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, all of those is where I share it. So those are the distribution channels, LinkedIn as well. Those are the distribution channels of that original content that I can either repost or I can link to and share it. So that's how I think about that. And if anyone is starting from scratch, starting their social media from scratch, I would really think about where is your target audience right now? Like maybe do some interviews, right? Try to understand where they spend their time, what platforms they're on right now, and then think about what platforms you understand and want to create content for. And okay, you might not even understand it. There's so much content out there that will help you understand those platforms. For example, I recently started TikToking, and
Oh, me too.
but there's so much content that helps you do that, right? And start small. You can always expand later. You can always add more social platforms.
Yeah, but you built an audience and a community of 150,000 plus across various platforms. What is your focus? Your personal brand or your company's brand?
Oh, that's a very good question. So up until yesterday, I would have said my company's brand, but yesterday I changed my avatars to my face. It used to be our company logo. Yesterday I changed it to my face because I realized that at the end of the day, I am as a solopreneur, I am the face of the brand and I'm partially the brand. So this is like a very unique case where the company brand and personal brand kind of overlap. And the personal brand can be separate as well. But at this point, I am kind of taking them together, if that makes sense, just because of the way I'm building my company.
Yeah, because if we take your company, Stereotype Breakers, you are a stereotype breaker. Am I right? So
I would love to be described that way.
yeah, but understandably, online businesses continue to grow in value, but just the way of growth beats up and down. So, how to stay afloat during such a fluctuation of women in tech, for women in tech?
I would honestly look into fractional work. So my husband used to have a fractional role. Now he's full time, but he used to have a fractional role, meaning that he's kind of like a part time. He had a part time position in the company, and you can get incredible experience and incredible honestly incredible experience, incredible skills from these fractional roles that enable you to then grow your career in a further or in a specific way that you want to grow it in. I would just focus on building your skills and continuing to build your skills so that you can stay afloat.
It is really important to set your personal boundaries sometimes. But when your business is everywhere at home, your clients are your friends, and everything around your success story, how do you just manage to set any boundaries, or you just believe that there is no, work-life balance?
Well, Balance is a myth for sure in the work life.
Yeah, it's amazing, yeah, what you said. Really, balance is, a myth. Yeah.
It's a prioritization, right?
Yeah.
However, so I believe in having a prioritized work-life situation, but I I have very strict boundaries around content creation and certain things that I share with my audience, certain things that I don't share with my audience. For example, my husband does not want to be on my social media, so you will not find him there. You will not think that I am, that I have a partner, probably, unless you watch the videos and I refer to him as my husband, but you will not see him because I don't film him. That's a very strict boundary. We have a rule of no phones at the table when we're eating meals, and that is a boundary. Yes, I do set boundaries in terms of when I work, when I don't work. There are certain times when I just no, this is not the sacred time. I do not work now.
So it's very strict for you. Just if you have an urgent call, or you just say to everyone, "I'm not available in that time forever."
I mean, it depends on the urgency, right? If it can wait until I finish dinner, then it's not urgent enough. If it's life or death, which has never really happened in my line of work, I'm not a surgeon. I'm not saving lives, right? It can wait 20, 30 minutes. In that case, yeah, there's a strict boundary. And also there are strict boundaries around what I can share and where I can be vulnerable and what I can't share and what is just my private life.
Now you already collaborated with 50 plus tech and educational brands, Facebook, Dyson, Coursera, Nissan, so I could mention a lot. You did successful social media campaigns for them as an influencer, independent player, so it's really amazing job. How do you manage, to get such results when you have an open rate of 30%? And I just noticed that in practice, a top tier score is just 10-15% per campaign. What are the main rules you follow when you do campaigns for such, big brands? Really?
Well, my I have two goals whenever I work with brands, right? One of them is to make sure that I'm adding value to the audience, right? That every single piece of this content serves the audience somehow. It's either educational or entertaining or inspirational, right? So I want to make sure that first and foremost, it's not just a random campaign, here's an ad in your face kind of thing. It is going to provide value. And then number two is I think about the brand and how they're spending their money. And a lot of the times I turn away campaigns because I am just, it is not going to be worth the investment for the brand because my audience is not interested in this type of product or they will not benefit from this type of product. So those are my two main criteria for any content that I create. And a lot of the times, I will tell brands they can reach out with certain ideas for the content, and I steer the content in the direction in which I know it's going to be valuable for my audience and also valuable for the brand. Because at the end of the day, I want to create value for both parties.
So you just follow your own narrative. You love the topic about habits, and habits are what we default to 45% of the time. How to learn a habit of seeing opportunities in everything that comes along? Because I remembered you were talking about it, and you love this, to seeing opportunities in everything.
Absolutely. Sometimes it's harder than other times. Like whatever comes your way, opportunity to learn. And whenever you fail, what opportunities do you have to learn? And once you start following that curiosity, learning and approaching it from an open mind, opportunities start to pop up that you would have never seen otherwise had you had a closed mind.
Ask yourself how you could learn something from each person, each thing that is around you. So the last but not the least, Introwise brand questions for you. Masha, how did you find your first client?
Oh my God. My first client actually came as a reference from a friend.
Oh, perfect. So what is it's short one, short questions. But if you would like to add, you could add.
It was a campaign on, oh my God, hot tubs, floating hot tubs in Thames in London. It was really weird.
Oh. What is your favorite business advice?
Whew, oh my God, my mind just went blank, which is not great. But uh, honestly, making sure that you have clarity and having your mission at the core of what you do and understanding what you are there, like what is the problem that you're solving, your why. That's the most important thing because that will take you places.
What is your favorite time management advice?
I'm so bad at time management. Honestly, it really helps me figuring out how long a task will take me. So honestly, my to-do list today has
Show me.
little
Oh,
items, and then time attached to it, so
perfect.
that I don't
Good,
overplan.
good school. I love to write everything also. I'm just old school in that. Yeah, so and what motivates you to do your job?
The mission. That's why it's so important.
What do you think? What is your, just goal for 5 years?
Oh, well, first of all, survive. Uh, global pandemic and things like that. Who knows? Um, survive, but honestly, take my career to a place where I'm in control and I get to pick opportunities because there's so many and they're coming my way and I get to pick and choose.
Super. I know that you already registered on Introwise. How do you use Introwise for your online business, or maybe you just started and you're going to do it?
Yes, I'm just getting started, but I'm planning to provide one-on-one consulting calls with clients who want to get into their branding, and also um, group like mastermind sessions on certain topics that I'm developing materials on. So, for example, negotiation, personal branding, etc.
Super. And what do you think? What is the value of Introwise for online business? For example, for an influencer, for creator?
I mean, there's so much, right? The fact that everything is in one place and it's super easy to set up and you don't have to worry about the logistics of things. The number of times I had to coordinate all these different platforms that didn't talk to each other, and it was just technology was just breaking. The fact that it's all in one place and it streamlines your process so that you don't have to worry about the tech. You can just deliver your content and deliver your passion. That is priceless.
Thank you, Masha, for this. We just try to do as much as possible for our audience. Thank you too much for your time, for being with us, and for connection. And it was a pleasure for me to meet you. Maybe one time we could meet each other just face to face.
I would love to. I would love to. Thank you so much for having me. This has been wonderful, and I would love to chat with you at some point and catch up somewhere in person.
Yes,
That would be
thank you very
wonderful.
much. And I would like to remind you that Introwise is all about inspiration, tech, and business. You could be registered in 3 minutes and just for free.